Did you know that your zodiac sign might not define you the way you think? What if I told you that everything we traditionally believe about astrology has a shocking twist you've never considered before? Let's dive in and get ready for some serious self-reflection, because this video is about to challenge everything you think you know about your sign. Let's start with why this matters. Astrology has been around for millennia and claims to tell us who we are, what we should avoid, and who we should love. But what if we've completely misinterpreted the zodiac? You see, the signs aren't just defining traits. They might actually be rewriting your personality. You heard that right. Your existence, behavior, and decisions might be manipulated by the celestial labels you've assigned yourself. Intrigued? Let's find out why. First off, let's talk about expectations versus reality. Your zodiac sign is supposed to guide you, but think about this. Does it guide you, or does it box you in and limit who you can be? Let's break that down. Aries, for example. Everyone says you're the bold, pioneering leader of the zodiac. You've heard it so many times that you may feel pressure to always lead or take charge, even if you're exhausted or not in the mood. But what happens when you're not fiery and bold? Does that make you a bad Aries? This need to fit into your zodiac box might actually strip you of the complexity that makes you, well, you. And let's not skip over Taurus. Tauruses are labeled as grounded, stubborn, and lovers of luxury. But does that mean a Taurus who loves adventurous thrill-seeking or street food is somehow wrong? These labels often define who you think you should be without allowing room for exceptions. And oh, Geminis, everyone's favorite two-faced scapegoat. Society loves to box you into the dual personality stereotype. But here's what really gets people talking. Do Geminis develop this duality because of their sign? Or do they amplify this trait because it's what everyone assumes about them? The power of suggestion is very real, people. Next, let's move to the role of self-fulfilling prophecy. You've probably heard this term before, when an expectation inadvertently causes itself to come true. With astrology, this happens more often than you might think. What if you're a Cancer, for example, and you read that you're supposed to be nurturing and emotional? Maybe you start leaning into those traits simply because it's what's expected. But deep down, that might not be your default personality. It's something you've learned to perform. Or consider Capricorn, the ever-practical workaholic. If your entire feed and daily horoscope tell you that you're obsessed with success and achievement, wouldn't you subconsciously push yourself harder, not because you are that way, but because you think you should be that way? In a sense, astrology isn't just defining you, it's teaching you how to perform your own sign stereotypes. Let's talk about trauma and zodiac signs for a moment. Controversial, right? But here's the deal. A traumatic event can make people connect deeply with their astrological traits, even when those traits might not fully align with their true selves. Leos, you're known for being the kings and queens of the zodiac, right? Always craving the spotlight. But what if a Leo who experienced a hardship decides to overcompensate by amplifying that attention-seeking persona? It's no longer a zodiac trait. It becomes a coping mechanism. Scorpios might be the most misunderstood sign in the astrological world, hands down. They're painted as the intense, brooding, vengeful characters of the zodiac. But what happens when a Scorpio is labeled as dangerous for so long that they start using it as armor? Instead of being authentically themselves, they may lean into that mysterious, intimidating reputation because it feels safer than showing vulnerability. But let's flip this theory into a wild twist. What if the zodiac sign you think you are isn't even your dominant influence? Astrology lovers, don't skip this part. Your sun sign is just one piece of the puzzle. Your moon sign dictates your emotional core, and your rising sign sets the tone for how you present yourself to people. So you might be living your life blaming Mercury retrograde for all your failures when, in reality, your moon sign is out here shaping your subconscious patterns. For example, think about Virgos, often labeled as perfectionists. But what happens if a Virgo has a fire moon? Guess what? They're probably a lot more chaotic and unpredictable than the clean-cut planner stereotype you associate them with. The balance and conflict within astrological placements mean you're not one-dimensional, But isn't it troubling how one-dimensional we treat astrology? Let's talk about relationships, possibly the juiciest topic in astrology. We all know the compatible signs rhetoric. Aries is a match with Leo, Pisces belongs with Cancer, Virgo should stick to Taurus. You've heard it a million times. But here's the thing. Is astrology destroying potentially great relationships by turning us into judgmental, stargazing snobs? What if an Aquarius who supposedly despises clingy signs finds their soulmate in, yes, an emotional Cancer? Dismissing people based on zodiac stereotypes might mean you're missing out on connections deeper than planetary alignments. Oh, and let's not forget workplace bias. That's right. Astrology seeps beyond romance into professional life. Imagine an HR manager dismisses a fiery and ambitious Aries candidate because they think the sign is too unpredictable, or a Libra doesn't land a leadership role because Libras can't make decisions. This is real-world discrimination dressed up in cosmic camouflage. Next up, pop culture's zodiac obsession. TikTok astrologers and memes have taken over the internet with viral posts like signs as Harry Potter characters, or signs ranked by their emotional stability. Sure, it's fun. But how much of these simplifications end up reinforcing stereotypes that shrink people into evolved BuzzFeed quizzes? For instance, Sagittarius signs are labeled as fearless adventurers. But here's a thought experiment. What would happen if we stopped turning Sagittarius into the mascot of eternal wanderlust, and let one admit they didn't want to backpack through Europe this year? And speaking of venturing into gray areas, can we talk about accountability? The astrological scapegoating needs to stop. Every Aquarius who's ever been accused of being distant in relationships knows what I'm talking about. Next time, instead of saying, "What do you expect? I'm a Virgo," maybe consider whether that's your personality or a convenient excuse. So here's the burning question. Are zodiac signs shaping who we really are, or are we shaping ourselves to fit them? The idea isn't to toss out astrology, but to use it as a mirror, not a script. Embrace complexity. Ask yourself whether the traits you display are genuinely you, or if they're an adaptation to what astrology has told you you're supposed to be. All right, here comes the part where you get involved. Did we just shatter your zodiac worldview, or are you clinging to your signs harder than ever? Are you free to be any version of yourself, or are you confined by cosmic expectations? Let us know in the comments. Better yet, get your friends to weigh in too. And here's what you don't want to miss. Turn on notifications because next week, we're diving into which zodiac signs secretly sabotage their own success. Yeah, it's about to get even more intense. Make sure to subscribe, and if you want a deeper dive into your unique cosmic portfolio, grab your personalized astrology reading in the bio. Trust me, you'll never see your chart the same way again. See you next time.